Listening, fill in the blanks.
Let's start.
The word monsoon is derived from mawsim, an Arabic word which denotes season. Monsoon is a wind shift which takes place seasonally over an area or region and is accompanied by dramatic precipitation increase. The Indian Asian monsoons bring heavy rains during late summer across parts of India and Southeast Asia. The rains are essential for agriculture and the economy, even though they do tend to cause major and often life-threatening floods. Monsoons are vital to the $100 region as a considerable percentage of the world's population lives in this area, and the results of a weak monsoon season spell devastation and disaster on the livelihood of the people.
Geographically, the uplift of the Tibetan Plateau after the collision of the Indian subcontinent and Asia about 50 million years ago caused the strengthening of the Asian monsoon. Many geologists believe that as a climatic occurrence, the monsoon became stronger 8 million years ago. There has been a significant change in the strength of the monsoon since that time, mainly due to global warming and climate change.
The brain produces a lot of energy, about 30 to 35 watts when awake. Glucose is the main source of energy for this organ. The brain needs constant oxygen supply for consciousness. When the oxygen supply is disrupted, a person faints. After 4 to 6 minutes of oxygen deprivation, the cells start to die. Strong blood vessels that can bear high tension provide blood and oxygen to the brain. A network of 150,000-mile-long blood vessels exists in the brain. The brain uses yawning to cool down when it is overheated. Also, when there is insufficient oxygen supply to the brain, a yawn provides it.
Your paragraph text robust data collection methods have made it possible for scientists and researchers to unravel the minute differences between human brains and the brains of other species, and defining difference in our brain and that of primates is plasticity. However, to pinpoint the exact differences between humans and other mammals, more research is required. When we understand what makes us unique and where we share similarities, we will be able to recognize not only why we are the dominating species on Earth, but we will also be able to understand our brains better. Increasing crime and devastating acts of terrorism have seen a growing need for vigilance. Whether it is security cameras or a satellite hovering above the Earth, you can be sure that someone is watching you. Law enforcement personnel and security professionals are depending heavily on video surveillance as an important tool in their battle against crime and terrorism. Statistics say that camera surveillance has been an effective tool in discouraging crime. In places like the UK, virtually every street sports security cameras, though by and large, such systems have the support of concerns regarding privacy invasion have been raised. While we debate on the issue, a glimpse at the first known use of a security camera is needed. It was in the year 1933 that a gentleman named Norbury first used it in England. Disturbed to find that an intruder was stealing his eggs and chickens, he set up a box camera with cords connected to the door. An image of the intruder was captured within a few days. The intruder, Frederick Baymel, was found guilty by the judge, who was impressed by Norbury's investigative capabilities. There is no doubt that in the current scenario, apprehending criminals and, more importantly, terrorists is a necessity. Thousands of lives can be saved if the perpetrators can be caught in time. As for the question of civil liberties, if you have nothing to hide, being watched over on television or camera or through any other media does not matter. The pulp and paper industry has not been badly affected by the electronic technologies that promised a paperless society. But what has radically altered the industry's structure is pressure from another front, a more environmentally conscious society, driving an irreversible move towards cleaner industrial production. The environmental consequences of antiquated pulp mill practices and technologies had marked this industry as one in need of reform. Graphic descriptions of deformed fish and thinning populations, particularly in the Baltic Sea, where old pulp mills had discharged untreated effluents for 100 years, have disturbed the international community. Till the 1950s, it was common for pulp mills and other industries to discharge untreated effluent into rivers and seas. The environmental effects were at the time either not understood or regarded as an acceptable cost of economic prosperity in an increasingly import-oriented world economy. But greater environmental awareness has spurred a fundamental change in attitude in the community, in government, and in industry itself.
Pulp is the porridge, like mass of plant fibers from which paper is made. Paper makers choose the type of plant fiber and the processing methods, depending on what the end product will be used for, whether it is a sturdy packing box, a smooth sheet of writing paper, or a fragile tissue. In wood, which is the source of about 90% of the world's paper production, fibers are bound together by lignin, which gives the unbleached pulp a brown color. Pulping can be done by mechanical grinding, or by chemical treatment in which wood chips are cooked with chemicals, or by a combination of both methods.
Like, share, subscribe the channel, and press the bell icon for further updates.